What's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre. Welcome back to the channel and this Apex Legends video. Tomorrow we're going to have our Lost Treasures collection event drop, but we got the patch notes for that event today in advance, and we have in this patch changes to no less than 10 out of our 13 different legends. We found out about the limited time game mode in the new town takeover yesterday, and if you haven't seen that video, you'll see the link on your screen right now. But today, we have some huge meta changes, the biggest mid-season change I've ever seen. Really quick, if you guys want to stay up to date on Apex Legends, make sure you hit that subscription button and click the notification bell so you can know exactly when my next video is released. But getting into these massive legend changes, we're starting off with Lifeline, who has an entirely new passive. Combat Revive now replaces Combat Medic. Deploy Doc to revive teammates. Doc will deploy a shield and revive Lifeline's teammate, leaving Lifeline free to defend or revive somebody else. And this fully replaces Lifeline's old passive, including Fast Heal, so she no longer has the ability to Fast Heal. Her tactical does now have a reduced cooldown time because it has the enhanced feature of being able to revive someone, so it's only 45 seconds instead of 60. And the ultimate of the care package now contains more items. It will contain 3 times more small healing items, and it will contain 2 times more attachments when it decides to spawn those things. Octane also has a pretty big change. Upon activation, Stim will remove all movement impairing effects, like being stunned by Bangalore's explosions, being stunned by caustic gas, being stunned by an arc star. Any and all of those slowing effects will be cancelled the moment you use your Stim. And in fact, that Stim sprinting speed has been increased by 10%. So not only does it generally make you faster, but you sprint 10% faster as well, making you now the fastest legend on foot. Their ultimate also has a brand new feature. Players can now double jump in midair after using Octane's jump pad. That's right, you can change directions with a double jump in midair, completely eliminating the predictability that had plagued Octane's jump pad. Moving on to Revenant, his Silence Tactical will now cancel Pathfinder's mid-grapple and Wraith's mid-phase walk attempt before she actually goes into the void. And it will now prevent Mirage from cloaking when he revives, and will also prevent Mirage from being able to control his decoys. It also stops Lifeline's combat revive now that she has that ability. And this is a huge one, the biggest one for Revenant. The range on the death totem has been removed. He has infinite distance on his ultimate, which is pretty massive considering that was like the one limitation that the ultimate had, is you couldn't really go that far. And now you have an infinite distance to push. You can leave that death totem somewhere real safe. That's pretty massive. Moving right on down the line to Crypto, deploying the drone now takes a lot less time, from down to 1.5 seconds from 2.5 seconds, and the EMP will now destroy Watson's pylons. Those are the things that stop grenades and recharge shields. And there's a lot to talk about Watson in a moment. She's coming up on this list. Loba, she had her tactical actually will no longer be intercepted by Watson's interception pylon. So she can actually now teleport into areas where Watsons are hiding. That's one of the big changes they've made to this, is they thought Watson was too strong, and so they've made a lot of changes to allow you to get into Watson defended areas. So Loba can now get in without being intercepted by that pylon. And her ultimate has a couple of changes too, slightly nerfed. The Black Market Boutique will now only pick up 1 stack of ammo rather than the 1 stack plus the amount that was required to fill whatever partial stack you had in your inventory. But Ultimate Accelerants now give 20% ultimate charge, up from 17.5%. So I don't know if that's specifically for Loba. She just gets a slight buff to her Ultimate Accelerants. Yeah, it's not exactly worded well. We'll have to test that one in game. Mirage, your tactical, you can now hold the button for your decoy and release auto-controlled decoys. So now you don't have to press the button and then a separate decoy activation control. And then decoys will now actually say lines when they are shot. So I imagine they're going to mock the people that shot at them. Passive, when cloaked, Mirage's hollow emitters will be visible to players that are less than 5 meters away. So a slight nerf to the cloak, because you could be literally right next to somebody and reviving, and they'd be walking right on top of you, unable to see you, maybe even walking right into you, confused as to why they weren't able to move forward. And this is a huge one for Mirage. The skydive will now create decoys for the entire squad. So previously you would just send out small decoys of yourself. Now if you're hanging out with your squad, as long as you're still attached to them during the skydive, you can send a huge decoy squad over to some different location. Now that's just an actually powerful move. Gibraltar had a slight nerf to his fast heal. When it's inside his dome shield, he fast heals 15% faster instead of 25% faster. Caustic had a nerf to his little canisters. You can actually cancel them before they are fully inflated by shooting them anywhere. Previously, Caustic had been able to use these canisters as grenades. He would throw them into windows, and you weren't able to really do anything about it, especially if it was right in your face until it's fully inflated. You have to back up and get out of range to shoot the bottom. Now, you can just shoot it right away before it's fully inflated, preventing it from ever happening. A huge change to Wattson now. The intent of this change is to create openings where enemies can breach Wattson positions, but still possible for Wattson players to hold a position with a trophy at the cost of using ultimate accelerants. So, Wattson's pylons now only last for 90 seconds, but Wattson can have up to 3 pylons at a time, and Wattson can stack up to 2 ultimate accelerants per inventory slot. Nobody else can do this. And if you don't remember, Wattson's passive was also to receive an instant ultimate charge from that ultimate accelerant from 0 to 100% on one of those. So she can stack 4, 6, 8 of these in her inventory and keep putting out these pylons, pow, 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 up to 3 of them at a time, knowing that they only last for 90 seconds. So, big changes to Wattson. Crypto can destroy her pylons, Loba can get around her pylons, and they only last for 90 seconds. So lots of different changes to Wattson. I wonder how this is going to affect the top level rank play. We also have massive changes to Wraith. These changes are meant to disincentivize Wraith players from using the Phase Walk as a get out of jail free card and move it into more of a repositioning and scouting ability. It now takes 1 1/4 second to enable as opposed to the 0.4 seconds it used to be. So huge nerf to the amount of time it takes to get into it. You'll actually even go slower when you're activating it, but when you get into it, you do get that 30% speed boost. You can see other players in the void. It does last longer, up to 4 seconds now, and the cooldown is a lot less time, 25 seconds. So a huge shift into how you use the ability. It's not meant to be used in the middle of firefights, in the middle of open fields. It's meant to be used as a scouting tool. Also a slight nerf to the dimensional rift in the distance it can go, about 25% less. They specifically said from 4,000 units down to 3,000 units of distance, what they specifically said in the dead stream. We also have a couple changes to items in the world. Starting with zip lines. A cooldown will be applied to re-grabbing zip lines without touching the ground. And this cooldown will increase each time the player disconnects and re-grabs the zip line. Cooldown will reset when the player touches the ground. And so this is meant to prevent all kinds of things. One of the things is like, for example, a Pathfinder setting a zipline high above the final circle and just ziplining back and forth and back and forth and back and forth above the enemies without ever having to fight anybody. Or using a zipline to dodge, jumping up and down on a zipline. There's another exploit I've seen where if you put 2 ziplines side to side, you could get this crazy speed boost, be going about 200% faster than usual on a zipline, as well as being able to dodge back and forth across these 2 ziplines. So that will be changed. And also a nerf to the Havoc that so many people have been asking for. So that has greatly increased its horizontal recoil in the initial shots of a burst and decreased the magazine size from 32 to 28. So huge, massive changes coming to Apex Legends tomorrow. Definitely the biggest mid-season change in terms of like fixes to Legends that I've ever seen, alongside this cool collection event, limited time game mode, and fun new town takeover. So props to Respawn. I gotta say, this is definitely one of the best updates I've seen them do. Lots of huge changes that people have been asking for. They've been asking for Lifeline buff. They've been asking for Octane buff. And we have been promised these things. We've been told they were coming, and they finally delivered. So just hands up to Respawn. You guys rock. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, please drop a like on it. And then if you want to pick yourself up on some Apex Legends lore and all this amazing backstory that the guys are putting in the game, make sure you click the videos that are on your screen right now. In the meantime, I'm not amazing. I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.